Hey Kingdom Culture, my name is Daisy Nonson and I'm here today to share a little bit about my testimony. So, for most of my adult life, I've been a single mom with my two amazing children. And although I was a member of Kingdom Culture since we were back at Chain of Lakes Middle School, I just never tied. I just never put myself in a situation where I thought that I could commit to doing that on a regular basis. And so I had been believing for a home for my kids and I for a very long time. I had prayed about it and I was saving and doing everything that I could possibly do to be able to finally purchase a home for us. And nothing was working. COVID happened. I was let go from my job. That set me back as well. And I just really began to get very frustrated about it. I'd been renting for so long. And then in January of 2023, I decided that I was going to try his way. I was going to believe and dream big that I would sow good seeds into this house. So January, I started to tithe faithfully, 10% as the Bible requests of us to do. And in June of 2023, I purchased our home. So the Lord was able to do for me in 5 months what I was trying to do on my own for many, many years. During that 5-month time, I had more than enough money for the down payment, the closing costs, and as a matter of fact, the mortgage person called me and said, we gave you less points, and so your mortgage is actually going to be a couple $100 less than we originally quoted you. That happened because of the Lord and His mercy upon me. So we moved into our home end of June. We were happy-go-lucky and living in what I thought to believe the Lord's home that He blessed us with. And then a few months later, October, I go in for my annual mammogram. And they called me back and said, you need to come back because we see that you have 2 lumps on your left breast. So I went back and I had fear and anxiety surrounding that appointment, not really understanding what was going on. They said, we need to do a biopsy of these 2 lumps that we see. They circled exactly where the tumors were. They told me that one was on 12 o'clock and the other one was at 2 o'clock. And that was a Friday. That Sunday, I went to church and Pastor called for a corporate fast beginning on that Monday. I historically haven't been a very good faster just because I'm, a foodie and honestly, I've struggled with obedience and discipline. But this time I said, once again, I'm going to give it all to you, Lord. I'm going to fast like I've never fasted before with a genuine heart, just like the Bible tells us. So on that Monday, I was on my knees, crying out to the Lord, worshiping and thanking Him for removing those tumors from my body. My prayer was very specific. I said, Lord, I want you to turn those tumors into waste in my body. I fasted and I was never hungry. Not one time did I feel the flesh winning. I felt full of life. I felt joy and I felt as though I was already healed. I went in for my biopsy and I'm laying there with the surgeon, the doctor, and he's starting to perform the biopsy on me. And I see him kind of doing some rumblings, talking back and forth to the nurse practitioner. And he says, that's strange. And I asked him what was strange. And he said that one of the tumors was no longer there. The 2 o'clock tumor had, in fact, turned into waste in my body and completely dissipated. So he said, I cannot perform the biopsy on the other tumor. I could only perform it on the one that you do have. He said, but don't worry, sometimes that happens. And I smiled and I closed my eyes and I said, yep, sometimes that happens when you have childlike faith and when you got the blood of Jesus running through your veins. I had been believing in my Jehovah Rapha, and in that moment I knew that He came through for me and healed me. So I got up And he said, you have to schedule your surgery right away for the tumor that you do have. I went home, and in that moment, I decided that I wasn't going to let fear lead my decisions. I wasn't going to be in bondages over fear and anxiety. I was just going to give it to the Lord because I felt as though he did it for me once and he could do it again. So for the next 30 days, I continued to pray. I continued to fast. I continued to believe. I involved my brothers and sisters from church who stood firmly in prayer with me. Pastor prayed for me, and he said that I would have a victory lap. And I believed him when he said that. And so I went and scheduled my surgery. I went in and had my tumor removed. The surgeon, once I woke up, said to me, well, the good news is we removed your tumor, but it wasn't as big as we thought. It went from 2 centimeters to 0.8. So the Lord was already breaking that tumor in half. And I believe that maybe if I would have been patient and waited even longer, he would have completely removed that one too, because sometimes we want things to happen on our timing, and it doesn't work that way, right? So I had the surgery, and I'm healed, and I'm whole. 6 months has gone by. I went for my mammogram recently, and they said, in fact, I'm completely clear. There's no evidence of any cancer in my body or anywhere on my breast. My testimony today is that my relationship with the Lord has never been closer. He's never left me. The entire time that I went through my surgeries, he was there holding my hand, uplifting me, reminding me of my focus was supposed to be on him, not even on removing the tumor, not even on purchasing a home, just remembering that he's there. He's my best friend. And I hope that this would encourage you, especially if you are a woman and you are dealing with any type of illness, no matter what healing you need in your body, but specifically breast cancer. Remember that we still serve a turnaround God. We still serve Jehovah Rapha, and he did it for me, and he can also do it for you. Thank you.